What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB, your sports guy. I'm joined by my good friend once again. You can't see his face right now, but I promise you'll be able to see his face once he gets it fixed when he gets home. My good friend, VK Jones. What's up, VK Jones?
Good evening. What's going on? 2 nights in a row on Hash It Out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm actually coming back from my first basketball game that I had to coach tonight. I'm assistant coach over at T.H. Harris Middle School, which I coached the boys team, which got a nice little win tonight and everything. The girls, they did okay. They lost, but tougher in the ball game and stuff like that. Just yeah, we had some wild things happen at the end, but it was a long evening indeed. So I'm trying to get home right now as we speak because I still got a lot of things to do when I get home. So I like this, man. It's crazy, right? It's really crazy.
Well, I'm glad y'all got the win, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's just a scrimmage, but we'll take it. You know, and I think the team proved a lot of things tonight. You know what I'm saying? I think we might have a little something with our team this year. So we're gonna see what happens going forward. Our season openers Monday. So we still got some little kinks, little work to do, and some little nuances that we got to get straight, especially for game day. But the kids did a really, really, really good job out there tonight.
All right, you say a little something, something. Are we talking like the playoffs?
I'm like this little something as in potentially we could have a really good team.
Oh, okay, good then, good. Everybody, thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about the New Orleans Saints, talk about LSU football for a little bit. We're going to get into the Louisiana High School power ranking for Division One select and non-select and Division Two select. And then we give our predictions and we talk about an incident that happened in the northern part of Louisiana and close to the Monroe area. So we'll talk about that, give our thoughts about what should have happened, what shouldn't have happened, and stuff like that. But let's get to the Saints. The Saints lost to the Arizona Cardinals on Thursday night. We started talking about it just very seldomly last night. Let's get into a little bit more. VK, your thoughts about the Saints when they went to Arizona and lost to the Cardinals?
Well, I don't want to repeat what I said, but I still say it was still, like I said, this was not a good game at all for the Saints. It was a lot of, you can say the wheels was really, really coming off last Thursday night. And, I said it yesterday, I'm going to say it again. I think it's time things to really change. Time to blow stuff up, if you know what I mean. But I seen something earlier today that Alvin Kamara stood out in a players only meeting and went off on the team and said that we're not playing Saints football.
I think that happened the day after the game.
Day after the game. And seeing that's a really, really kind of a good sign a little bit that some of the players actually care. And I know James Winston cares a bit. You know what I'm saying? That, they thought that they can have, they thought this season it could be potentially good, potentially big, and it's not turning out to be what it is. And at the same time, some people are slacking, some people not doing what they need to do. So for that, and I think veterans like Alvin Kamara, like like Cam Jordan, and like James Winston, they're PO. They're PO, and it's like, what are y'all doing? We're not performing. We're not doing what we do. It's ridiculous, and it's just a fact. It's gonna get worse by the day. But somebody just need to step up, do what they need to do, and get back to playing Saints football. And I give a lot of credit to Kamara. It just shows that some people still care that the season's going on. And the weirdest thing is the division's still up for freaking grabs. And
That's what I'm going to talk about. Because the
yeah,
Saints still can win this division. They're only one game back. So it's still It still can happen.
It
Now,
yeah, it still can happen. You're right.
yeah.
It still can
Now,
happen. But
with that being said, I think this team has taken on the mentality of their head coach. I don't think they have the mentality of Sean Payton anymore. So they need to find a fighting mentality because this is not a rebuilding team. This is a championship made team. So this team should not be underperforming as they are. The Saints should have a winning record as we speak, plain and simple. And by Kamara stepping up and having this players only meeting, that shows he's taking a leadership role for this team. He knows what Saints football is about. He's been to the playoffs, he's been to a conference championship. So Alvin Kamara expects the Saints to be in the playoffs. And the way things are going, he's very upset. I'm shocked that Demario Davis hasn't stepped up to have a players only meeting. He's the leader of this team. I'm shocked that Cam Jordan, the longest tenured Saints, didn't step up and have this meeting. It took Alvin Kamara to do this. The guys that's been a part of this playoffs run for years need to be the ones to step up and get the ship on the right track. Plain and simple. Now, as far as Dennis Allen, I don't know if he's trying to be buddy-buddy with all the Saints players or what. I don't know. But I am not happy with the way he has been being the head coach of the team. I just don't know what's his motto, what he has in store for the team and as far as what's their identity. I just don't know with him. But he has to crack a whip. He has to crack a whip and get this thing going in the right direction. Like we said, they're one game back of the division. It is still winnable. They got to make this turn. They got to.
well, I wish I could be the king of wishful thinking, but I'm sorry. I got to be real. The two biggest things that was key that became a detriment in the beginning of the season, and it's coming out now, and it's been coming out, and I don't think it's going to get better. For one was the trade of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You have a playmaker that could help the defense, even if you have Tyrann Matthew. It's just the fact when you have him additional to what you got, it builds more depth, but you also have experienced playmakers on your team. So with that, him being gone, it doesn't help when Tyrann Matthew's not making plays. It doesn't help that Marshawn Lattimore is not consistent as a corner. It does not help at all. With that, also the other detriment is the injury to the rookie tackle from Northern Iowa. I think it's Lanning. I think his name is
Pennington.
Say it
again.
Pennington. Yes. When he got hurt, and the way it was looking, he had a really good start. And the way it was looking, the tackles was going to be pretty much solidified when you got Ramczyk on one side and Pennington on the other. So things looked like it was going to be okay. When he got hurt, I just knew right then and there we are really in trouble now. Because the only other lineman we had, the best lineman we got now is Ramczyk and nobody else. You got an underachieving Andrews Pete that why in the world he's still on the team. You got Cesar Ruiz that is so sometiming as a guard. It's ridiculous. And all these other linemen that can't block for nothing. It's just and I can't believe it just came down to two key things. And it's a detriment to the team. It's just a fact nobody else stepping up and everything else. And to me, whoever win, the division this year, I'm sorry, it's just a year It's just like the year when the Carolina Panthers won the division with an 8-8 freaking record. And what happened? They got blasted out the freaking sky in the first round. And that's what's going to happen. Whoever wins the division is going to get blasted out the sky.
You sound pretty confident that that's going to happen. They're going to get blasted out the sky. You don't think the winner of the NFC South can turn it around and make a good run, even in the playoffs?
Hell no. It ain't happening. It's too bad of football. If we team up against a team in the NFC East or the NFC West, we get killed. And I'm saying that for a reason. The West might not be as strong as it is, but it's still a decent division. And I hate to say it, the NFC East is back. You see what happened last Sunday. Not just the fact of the top three teams, the entire division won, including the Commandos over the Packers.
He said the Commandos.
The Commanders, whatever you want to call them sad sacks got maybe one of the biggest upsets in the NFL this year. I mean, it's the fact of the matter is, regardless if the division one has a home game, they have the weakest division. It depends maybe on matchup, but it's just not happening. It's just not. I can't. If I'm not confident with that, what happened with Tennessee a week ago? I was real confident on that, and it happened.
You very, very confident.
See, I'm not perfect, and a lot of times I'm wrong, and I'm man enough to say I'm wrong. But I'm hoping to God I'm right this time, because I just don't like what I see, and it's just bad things. Bad things. Like Drake said, it's a lot of bad things.
Well, the Raiders here in the Superdome this Sunday. Do you think the Saints get a win?
I hate to say it. Maybe. Because you know why? The Raiders are struggling too. The Raiders, they're not playing as bad as the Saints, but the problem with the Raiders, they just can't finish a game. They can't finish a game. They cannot play for quarter. The Raiders should be better than they are right now. And I'm a little surprised how the AFC West is turning out right now. Because it's not what it is, what you think it is right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But the Raiders should be a better team than they are, because they've been in almost every game. And I think the Saints has a chance Sunday. The Saints might pull something out their butt and come up with a win. It might happen. Especially in the dome.
Well, I'm going to say this. I think the Saints going to get a win. I think the Saints going to get a win. I think the Saints offense will play their best game to date. I have a strong feeling.
Now, who starts on Sunday?
Wait, what?
Who starts at quarterback on Sunday?
I was just about to say that. It came out today. Andy Dalton is starting again at quarterback. With that being said,
are you in a hurry to have Jameis back as the starter? Do you think we had enough of Andy Dalton?
I'm gonna say this. What they said today, they said Jameis is healthy. They said today Jameis is healthy, but they're going with Andy Dalton. Now, if Jameis is healthy, why are we not going with Jameis? That's what I want to know. He's healthy. I don't think he's all the way healthy. I think they're just saying that.
Yeah, I think it's smoke and mirrors.
That's what I think also.
I think it's smoke and mirrors.
But I think the Saints offensively will play their best game to date come Sunday. And I got the Saints winning over the Raiders. All right. LSU, big win over number 7 or number 9 ranked Ole Miss after being down 17-3. They came back and got the win 45-20. Big ups to Jaden Daniels, which I told everyone. And people were writing him off after week 1 and everything. And I said, without Jaden Daniels, LSU ain't winning the game. And LSU now, they're 6-2. and got a great quarterback. We lost VK. Oh, there you go. He's back. VK, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, cool. Jaden Daniels, you know, this type of offense, a Brian Kelly offense, you need a mobile quarterback that can run. And we got the right one. And now he's starting to build great chemistry with the receivers on LSU's team. But I need LSU to start off strong early. LSU has to stop starting off slow. And then all of a sudden they pick it up and start playing. They got to start off strong from the get-go. And they can do that. LSU will be a hard team to beat. Think about it. LSU is tied for first in the SEC West. Am I right, DK?
Yes, indeed. You're right about that.
They tied for first. And the big showdown with Alabama next week with both teams on a bye. What are your thoughts about LSU right now, VK?
Big time progress for the Tigers. Big time progress. They're getting better. Like you said, they got to have better starts. They have to have better starts each and every week. Now, the gameplay is getting better. It's getting much, much better, especially the way they bounce back from a slow start. But I think they probably played their best game of the season outside of Florida. Because, I mean, the way they stepped up at homecoming, at home against a top 10 team that's undefeated. And for them to really handle their business and for Brian Kelly for the first time out-coached Lane Kiffin to getting the job done is a lot of progress for the LSU Tigers, and they're doing well going forward. And it's good that they're having 2 weeks to prepare for Bama, but also Bama has 2 weeks as well. So it's going to be a hell of a game coming up. But I like how they're doing. Jaden Daniels has solidified himself as the starting quarterback at LSU.
I told y'all that.
I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again. I'll say it again one more time to you so-called LSU fans. Jaden Daniels is the man, and you can't change that.
We have LSU in Alabama in a week and a half, and I believe it's at, where is it, at Tiger Stadium?
Tiger Stadium, and it's a Saturday night game. ESPN will broadcast it. It's a Saturday night game. Thank you, ESPN. Thank you, CBS, for not touching it. That's what I get mad about sometimes. Because LSU, big games, they belong at night, not 2:30. I'm tired of that. I understand last week was homecoming.
You tired of it, but LSU not gonna say no to that TV money if they want to make 11 o'clock or 2:30.
No, damn the TV money. Damn the TV money. Damn the TV money. No, you gotta understand this. If my team got a chance for a win against a top 5 team, I want them mugs at night. Damn the money.
I think everybody would want them at night. But when the TV company is coming to you with this big old check for millions of dollars, you're not gonna say no.
Man, look, I want to win. I want the best chance to win.
You gotta win regardless. Morning, afternoon, night games. You gotta win regardless.
No, you're right, but I'm sorry. The best chance for certain teams, especially the Tigers, is at night. They always say.
The percentage at night is so high. Correct.
Thank you. And guess what? What former coach Les Miles said? Death Valley, where dreams come to die.
Yeah, his dream died too when they fired him.
No, I'm just saying what he said. I'm not.
I know what he said. I know.
Yeah, when dreams come to die. So guess what? When like they say in the LSU intros in the past, when the night falls, and I'm telling you, it's something about the LSU night games. I'm sorry. Listen to me. Like Deion Sanders says, about HBCUs with money games. Why the hell we taking a money game and we go get beat up like that?
That part I understand. I understand that part.
You rather be somebody and be in that level like a North Dakota State or some of these other programs, going to Division Ones and taking money games on the regular and beating them. That's the ultimate. When you take their money and you beat them, that's the ultimate. So plain and simple with that, I understand where you're coming from with the money thing. I get it, but bruh, higher percentage at night. If I know I'm going against one of the best teams, that's why I wasn't happy that LSU had a god dog on 11 a.m. start against Tennessee, despite they got beat down.
Hey,
it's just a fact of the matter.
That weekend they had a bunch of ranked games, and they put them first. It is what it is. Yes, if LSU had a choice, every game they would play at home would be at night. And still in all, I think majority of their games are at night. But when it comes to these TV contracts, who wants who, and they looking at it like who they want prime time. If LSU wasn't not ranked high enough, and A&M and Alabama ranked high enough, they think that's a better prime time matchup that people will want to see. Now, LSU and Alabama are usually night games. Why? Because number one, Nick Saban used to coach at LSU. They say it's a rivalry, but it's really not, because Alabama, they whooped their tails for many years, except for 1 year. Also, with that being said, that's always usually a night game, except when LSU won the last time. So they pretty much keep the Alabama LSU game a night game due to the fact that Nick Saban was the LSU coach at one time.
And you're right. And you're exactly the point. I see where you come. It's just a fact, in general. Look, all I know, bro, CBS, and I understand they want to keep the SEC brand and stuff, and that's all CBS has now for college football. That's all they have left. Maybe sometimes Army Navy, maybe sometimes Mountain West, but at the same time, I'm like, that's all they have, and it's amazing that they still have it. They still have the SEC on CBS. But my thing is, here's my thing. Why sometimes, and I'm not saying all season, why 1 week? Like, do it rotating weeks. Have a Saturday night game. Because here's the thing. There's nothing that come on CBS on Saturdays. Nobody's watching those series on Saturday nights. Come on. I'm gonna take like Michael or Wilbon said. No one watching damn TV on Saturday. They're watching the game or going out. Nobody gonna watch no goddamn comedies, sitcoms, or series unless it's kind of exciting. This is not the 80s. We ain't got those kind of the best series come on what days? Monday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. Actually, Monday through Thursday. That's when your best shows. Maybe sometime on a Sunday night. You might have some good series on Sunday nights. So Sunday through Thursday, your best TV. Friday, Saturday, who watching that? There's no TGI. There's no TGI.
CBS, twice a year during college football, they will do a doubleheader. One in the afternoon, one at night. Other than that, it's a 2:30 game. But every other station, ABC, Fox, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, SEC Network, ACC Network, they got like a triple header. Triple header.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying that CBS don't have to do a prime time game every week. They ain't have to do a doubleheader. Just do a prime time, rotate it every 2 weeks. Rotate it. Get a prime time game, get a regular game. You could do maybe 2 doubleheaders a season, but rotate each week. We'll have a 2:30. Next week we'll have a 7:30. We'll have a 2:30, and next week we'll have a 7:30. Do it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, nobody's watching. And then most of the time they have repeat shows. Repeat shows early in the week to come on Saturday nights. Come on, bro. There's a reason why I don't like what CBS is doing. Like I said, they're good. Now everything else, NFL, NCAA tournament, the golf coverage, they're on point. They're on point. I give CBS that credit. But college football, bruh.
Well,
But
so
CBS, ESPN and ABC, especially ABC, they had the guts to say, okay, nobody's watching. Let's put a Saturday night game on a primetime slot.
I pretty much
And
just
they've
said
been
that.
doing,
You
and they've
got
been.
people ahead of us.
No, I know. I'm saying about ABC because of the fact how ABC and I think this is the 4th straight year they have done Saturday night football. And I was like, it's about time. Because once in a while they have a Saturday night game way back in the day. Now they're doing it on the regular every Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I love that, bro. I'm like, put it on. There's nobody watching. Put it on the prime time slot. And you get viewers. You get your ratings. That's what it's about. ABC looked at the bigger ABC, Disney, they looked at the bigger picture. CBS, that's the only thing with college football. Everything else in sports, they on point.
All right, let's move on to Tulane. Tulane with a 38-28 victory over Memphis. Tulane jumped off to a 35-0 lead and almost gave this game away. And it's funny, I was talking to somebody at work, and this guy told me what Tulane did was smart. And I said, what was smart that they did? He said, they playing for a bowl game and don't want to get nobody hurt. So what they did was smart, just, let off the gas. I say, no, you don't let off the gas. You put these boys away. You finish them. You don't let them come back. I said, that's how they lost to Southern Miss. Got out coached, didn't know what to do, and got beat 17-14. Memphis almost came back, being down 35-0 and almost won that game. You gotta finish games. Keep your foot on their throat. Finish them off. That's what Tulane needs to learn, how to finish games. Because Tulane is a good team. A good team. A chance to win the American Athletic Conference. But if you can't finish games off, then guess what? You're going to be in trouble when you play Cincinnati and UCF. What you got to say?
I hate to say it, I agree with you. Willie Fritz needs to do me a favor. Not just me a favor, but the season ticket holder on my left. Season ticket holder on my left, a bunch of season ticket people, and Tulane alumni. Dude, stop playing conservative. I love you. I love Willie Fritz. Willie Fritz, I'm a fan. I met him, great guy. I'm a fan. But bruh, stop playing conservative because that's going to lead you to a loss. All I'm going to tell you, the ultimate embarrassment for Tulane Athletics was last season. They're up 24-0 on Navy. Or was it Navy. And they let these people come back to beat them in the second half. And this probably was the worst to me. In my opinion, I've seen some Tulane football. This was probably the most embarrassing loss in the history of Tulane Athletics. Because the reason why, not just the fact of a 24-0 lead being lost, but the game was on ABC, on national television. That's embarrassing. So guess what? I said to myself a couple years ago when that happened, I said Tulane will not be on national television again because of this embarrassment. So for that, Willie Fritz has got to stop being conservative and start having a killing instinct more for his team. His team need to have a killing instinct for these next couple weeks if they're going to clinch the American Conference. They are in position to win it, but they got to finish it off and finish it off strong, but put the foot on their throat. Don't give a team life. But at the same time, they got to finish strong and have killing instinct.
I'm going to say this. I'm gonna disagree with you when you're saying they wouldn't be on national TV again, because this game against Memphis was on ESPN2, and I really think ESPN likes to put
No,
Tulane on TV. I
no,
really
no, no,
think
no, no,
so.
no, 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 no.
No. What?
ESPN2 doesn't count. We're
Yeah,
talking
it
about.
does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it
Wait, wait,
does.
wait.
That's a
No, it
national
doesn't.
scale. Everybody watch.
No,
Everybody on the
no,
regional
no,
scale.
no, no.
What are
Let
you
me
talking
explain.
about?
Let me explain. Let me explain, my friend. I said ESPN2 don't count because that's cable, network, satellite TV. We're talking about ABC, regular television,
Oh
where
man.
people is
Oh
catching
man.
everything. We
Oh,
talking
come
about the
on.
whole world. We got
Oh,
people that still don't have cable. We got people that still
oh,
have satellite. We're talking about people that got regular TVs. That's what I'm talking about. We talking about, like I said, we got look at the budget, Jared. People are struggling. So trust me, I'm talking about ABC television. That's national all over. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Besides ESPN2.
oh.
ESPN2, everybody can catch it, but you gotta have subscription. You can remember that. Because you can't if you go online and try to stream it through your internet, oh, you can't even get that. Can't get ESPN3 because you got to get a subscription on direct or something. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
So
ladies and gentlemen,
now I
for
understand.
those who have cable and all that good stuff, ESPN2, yes, that's nationwide. That's a nationwide audience. Okay, if you don't have cable, if you got just regular antenna, yeah, ABC. Yeah. Come on, VK, man. Come on, man. Um, but yeah, we agree on you still there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
Just saying,
Yeah.
bro. Just
Yeah.
saying.
We agree on Willie Fritz got to get the job done. He gotta finish it off. Now, before we get into the high school stuff, game day, ESPN College Game Day is going to Jackson State University. Prime time, Deion Sanders and Jackson State will be taking on Southern. What are your thoughts about ESPN going to HBCU for the first time in years? And your thoughts about Jackson State and Southern?
Okay. Hold on a second. Hold on here. I'm gonna tell you what I think.
Okay.
Hang on a second. This is what I think.
What you think?
Like Deion Sanders said, give me my theme music. What he say? Give me my theme music.
Yeah, that's what he says. That's what he says. Give me my
Oh
theme music.
my God. I mean, bruh, I'm hyped up as a mug every time I had to save that video on the Facebook. Cause I'm like, when I seen that, I was like, wow. Man, I'm like this. This is amazing. And I love what College Game Day is doing. And somebody on there, one of my friends that comes from another school as a SID, had to correct some people. And I understand and I appreciate him doing that because of the fact that, some people said, oh, this is the first HBCU that's going to be on College Game Day, which is not
Nope,
true.
that's not true.
Which is not true at
They did the
all.
Bayou. They did Bayou Classic one year.
Exactly. I think they did another game in HBCU as well. So they've done this like the third or fourth time that they are going to do an HBCU game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's big. I think Jackson State kind of made a little mess up on it. Somebody had to correct that. But for that, it's big for the school. And the reason why, for one, is Deion Sanders. For one, Deion has done some, and Deion has been everywhere. And I tell you, he has done a great job. He has really had taken over the SWAC conference a couple weeks ago, going against
He ain't
Alabama.
swag. He ain't swag. He
He
ain't
ain't
swag.
SWAC. All I know, I'm gonna say this right quick to Eddie Robinson Jr. Who the hell do you think you are? Who in the hell you think you are? Remember, you're going to have to respect Dion, because if it wasn't for him, the conference ain't what it want to be right now. But another reason why this game being profiled, because this is Jackson State's probably toughest game of the season. Southern University playing really well. Coach Eric Dooley has done an unbelievable job taking over the program. The disciple of Pete Richardson. He is really getting his program back to the way it was. And I met with Coach Dooley years ago. He always talked about going back home to Southern. And he's back, and he's really getting things going. I seen him at homecoming. I know, but I think in the future, and I know Coach Dooley might be listening, he needs to schedule a more competitive game for homecoming. Because the thing about homecoming is you want to get the gate, but then on top of that, you want to have a good game. Want to lose because you want to bring excitement. That's what it is. But regardless of the fact, I seen one of my guys who started. I was excited, had a good game and everything. But Saturday, those two are going to go at it, Southern Jackson State. It's going to be an absolute war. And get to Jackson Memorial Stadium early. It is going to be yay packed. To me, probably the biggest crowd maybe in the history of Jackson State coming up on Saturday. Last year, I think it was Alcorn, which broke the record. I think the Southern game is going to break it. Because, you know, Southern, they bring over 25,000 up there to Jackson.
25,000?
Yes. 25,000.
Southern going to bring 25,000 people to Jackson, Mississippi.
They're serious. Ask anybody. They bring over 25,000. I'm serious.
How many people going inside that stadium?
It is over 62,000. That's the biggest HBCU stadium in the nation.
We got an HBCU stadium that can hold 62,000.
Yes.
What's the name of the stadium again?
Jackson Memorial.
All right, hold on. I gotta look this up.
And it's a city stadium, which they gave it to Jackson State later on, which you could say was kind of a raw deal, because of the fact that they still have some things that they need to fix up in there and everything else. That's why Jackson State for the longest has been trying to get their own stadium.
Okay, you're right. 60,492 is the capacity. Okay, all right.
Hey,
you the man, bro. You the man.
Because all I'm gonna tell you is this: if Everett or anybody listening to this show has been, and some of them has been to a Jackson State Southern game, they will tell you Southern comes out. When Jackson State plays Southern or Grambling, they travel. Grambling is not that far to Jackson anyway. So they bring a lot of people.
That's straight I-20.
Yeah, exactly. So the three biggest crowds usually at Jackson would be against Alcorn State, against Grambling, and against Southern. Because Southern brings a lot of folks. They come out of Baton Rouge. They make that trip. Man. So I'm telling you, that's why I'm saying last year it was a huge crowd, over 61,000. This year, I think it was Alcorn State that had the record, the biggest crowd ever. I think this one breaks it. Because Southern, and especially with a good Southern team, Jaguar Nation's going to be in full effect. But also the Jackson State fans have been coming and filling it up. That's why it is going to be that huge of a crowd. Because usually the Southern fans, they are as louder as the Jackson State fans. But I don't know about that now. The Jackson State faithful is deep, bruh. It's very deep. So I'm looking forward to a great game. I might go, but I might not. It looks like the weather's gonna be kind of not too fine, because I'm hearing like 60-70% chance of rain in Jackson on Saturday. So it's a up and down thing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I need to check the forecast again just in case, and Ooh, yeah, it's kind
So
of nah.
let me say this. So Jackson State is averaging 50,000 a game. So that's pretty
Mhm.
goddamn good for HBCU.
Yes,
It's real good.
indeed.
I'm gonna say this right quick, and we're gonna move on to high school football. Um, I know the winner of the SWAC and the MEAC, they play for the Black National Championship, but I would love to see one of them go compete for the FCS championship. I would love it. I really would. I would like to see that.
Well,
You know, I know
last season,
FAMU. I know FAMU
yes,
did,
but they were very
and FAMU
fortunate
didn't even get
because
make a SWAC or MEAC championship, and they went to
now
compete for it.
they had got an at-large bid.
Okay.
Regardless of the fact they got a large bid. If the HBCU looks good, they'll get an at-large bid. And
Okay.
with the SWAC with FAMU now being in the SWAC, that really helps them a lot. But I know they're
Yeah.
going through some struggles this season because of what's been going on over there. But at the same time, I don't know if they have a team. I'm like this: the winner of that game, of this Saturday's game, will have an inside track of winning the division and going to the SWAC championship game,
Mm-hmm.
and possibly the loser of the game. And if they finish strong at the end of the season, possibly could get a playoff berth. But at the same time, like I said, the winner of the SWAC will take on the winner of the MEAC. And the way it's looking right now is a wide open race. And I think Central leads the MEAC conference.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's last season I underestimated the MEAC. I thought the Jackson State was gonna burn them and straight
Nope.
up blow those people out. South Carolina State proved me wrong, and they outplayed Jackson State and won that ball game. So I'm not gonna take the MEAC lightly at all, and it's gonna be interesting itself. But I think the winner of Saturday's game has an inside track of the SWAC championship. But then the loser, I believe they finish strong. They have an FCS playoff berth waiting on them.
All right. Let's move on to high school football. And before
Oh, I
we
forgot,
get
and I forgot before you move on, and I forgot about this. If Jackson State loses, they could have the playoff berth because the thing is with Southern, if you that's the only thing that's messed up, and that's the thing that Dion is trying to change. The problem is the Bayou Classic, Bayou Classic weekend. That's why they've been trying to change it. Bayou Classic weekend is the same weekend as the first round of FCS. It's the same weekend. Actually, yeah, it's the same weekend of the first round. So that's why Southern can't really go. And then Jackson State they make the championship. The SWAC championship the week after, which will be the second round. So a lot of things is going to have to change in the SWAC for them. Florida A&M was fortunate that the season ended right before Bayou Classic, and that's when they had the playoff berth.
all right, cool. All right. So we moving on right quick to high school football. And there was an incident that happened in the Monroe area. And I'm trying to get to it right quick. Bear with me for 1 second. All right, here we go. Carroll head coach Brandon Landers and 8 assistant coaches will be sidelined for the remainder of the 2022 football season following an altercation that took place at Franklin Parish High School last Thursday. The LHSAA announced its ruling Wednesday evening that 9 members of Carroll's staff will be suspended for the rest of the regular season and the postseason after assistant coaches were involved in a melee with Franklin Parish law enforcement and fans after being escorted down from the top of the press box. The head coach of Carroll, Landers, followed by other assistants, left the sideline and jumped into the home stands during the conflict. This leaves Carroll with 6 assistant coaches remaining on staff, and suspended parties will not be allowed to attend practices or coach another game this season. The superintendent of the Monroe City Schools, Dr. Brent Vadine, said an appeal would follow the LHSAA's ruling. He also said, again, we were sadly disappointed in the actions that took place during the game at Franklin Parish last Thursday night. We are also disappointed in the ruling from the LHSAA. Carroll High will appeal the decision immediately to the LHSAA. KNOE's Aaron Dietrich broke the news on Twitter Wednesday evening. With the game in control and the Bulldogs leading 23-0 in the fourth quarter of last week's contest, Landers said his coaches were coming down from the press box when the shoving in the crowd commenced. Landers and the other assistant coaches on the field ran across the playing surface and into the stands. The coaches were trying to come down with the game decided, and I guess they got into it with the fans. And I know the sheriff was up there, says Dietrich. Landers says, no, from Landers, I'm sorry. And my coaches were shoved, said Landers immediately following the game. I'm on the sidelines, so I'm trying to get up there and break everything up. It was a lot of pushing and shoving, but I didn't see any punches or anything like that. Franklin Parish Sheriff Kevin Cobb told Washington Citizen on Monday that arrests would be made this week. They were asked numerous times by staff to stop using profanity, Cobb said. During the fourth quarter, law enforcement went to the press box in order to address the profanity. At that time, I came in contact with Carroll coaches in order to attempt to escort them back to the Carroll sidelines from the Franklin Parish homestands. The coaches began using more profanity, and one coach refused to leave the stands. The coach then initiated physical contact with law enforcement, and fans approached to assist law enforcement at that time. Calls to Landers and Carroll principal Dr. Eric Davis were not returned Wednesday evening. Carroll is currently 7-0 and ranked number 4 in non-select Division II, according to Go Press. The Bulldogs will host Richwood Friday. I'll let you go first. What are your thoughts about this situation?
Well, looking at this thing deeply and reading the article, big shout out to Aaron Dietrich. I met him a couple years ago. Very good guy in Monroe. Looking at the whole thing and stuff, you gotta have some kind of control, but at the same time, the Monroe, the police, what are we doing? Are we censoring coaches? Are we censoring coaches? That's what we're doing. Talking about the profanity stuff. We are in the heat of battle, in the heat of action during a game. Coaches are going to get upset. Coaches are not going to be happy with certain things. Coaches are urging their players. Sometimes it's hard for certain coaches to hold their language, to not say, sometimes you got to be a little man and watch your mouth. But it's not easy. Sometimes it gets in the heat of battle and stuff. You can't always censor us. You can't do that. And for that, it's like, not saying, I'm not making no excuses for Brandon Landers and his staff at Carroll. Was a suspension warranted? Yes. But at the same time, I think this could have been a bunch of do about nothing, because of the fact of the matter is, it sounded like to me somebody was censoring coaches from trying to make their points out. And that's not good. They're in the booth. What you think coaches are gonna do in the booth? What's it gonna be, kumbaya every time they up there? Come on, man. I don't know, bro.
Let me go.
I think this world is kind of sensitive, man. Go ahead. Go ahead with your point, bro.
Let me hop in this right quick, man, because football coaches, a lot of them, even back in the day, they use profanity. It is what it is. These coaches are in the booth, they're coaching, they're talking to other coaches, and they're going to say profanity stuff. Why is a cop near the press box in the first place, monitoring what they're saying and telling them to stop using profanity? That's what I want to know. Why is a cop there? That made no sense right there for a cop to even be by them.
That's what exactly the point.
Yeah, so now, game over with pretty much. They're coming down. And it still sounds like the coaches are talking amongst themselves, and you still tell them to stop using profanity as if like you're trying to insinuate something. So now with the pushing and shoving in the stands, I don't know what all that went down, but that's when we got to have self-control. You got to have self-control because there's already cops telling you stop using profanity while you're in the press box. You can't lose your control coming down because now they're going to try to make it as if you're the bad guy. And if Coach Landers saw this from the other side of the field and ran up them stands, I believe what he said is that he was trying to break up whatever was going on, trying to stop his coaches from retaliating, pushing, or all that stuff. I really believe that. I don't think Coach Landers is running from one side of the field to the other to jump in a whole fight with the Franklin Parish High School crowds. I don't think that at all. I think he really was trying to break that up. The LHSAA has to look into this deeply, for real. And they haven't. They got a story, and they went with it. Oh, they suspended. There has to be cameras somewhere that got this on video. They need to talk to coaches and get their point of view from it. If their coaches are pushing and shoving with people in the stands, they're wrong for doing that. Don't get me wrong. They are. But at the same time, I don't blame Coach Landers for going over there and trying to stop what was happening if it was pushing and shoving. Because he's the head guy. That's all I got to say about that.
And I knew his name was familiar. He was actually a former starting quarterback for the Grambling Tigers. For Grambling State. Okay. So that's the name is very, very familiar. Very good quarterback indeed when he played. And like you said, you're right about that. It's unbelievable. To me, I smell a lawsuit. I smell a lawsuit on this. I really do smell a lawsuit. And I think with Carroll, they had their hands tied. They probably didn't want to suspend them for the rest of the year. Their hands were tied. The LHSA, they're very, very contradictory on a lot of things these last 5-6 years. And this is starting to be, and if they have video and evidence showing that Brandon Landers legitimately tried to break things up in the stands, I smell a lawsuit because this is really, really bad for the LHS, especially I think it's as bad as the call three as the head in the call forfeit 3 games because of a mess up, an internal mess up at that.
Internally, yes. All right, let's get to these power rankings that we're gonna talk about for a little bit. Bringing onto the screen, there it is. Hope everybody can see it. Like I said, when we're gonna talk about Division 1 and Division 1 select, non-select, and Division 2 select. Let's talk for Division 1 non-select right quick. Remember, 28 teams, top 4 get a bye. Here are your rankings according to Gold Preps. Zachary number 1, Rustin 2, Neville 3, Southside 4. That's your top 4. VK, looking at this, these power rankings, we're going by this. Who do you think from the outside, who's outside the top 4, can move into the top 4?
Well, I think Destrehan is a possibility of maybe putting in there, but I would probably be top 6. I think Slidell has a great chance of breaking through to the top 4 in Division 1.
Okay. Also, let's remember, supposedly, now I know it's with basketball, but supposedly if you win your district, you're supposed to get a point added on to the power rankings. My friends, James Bouye and Blue, y'all watching? Let me know. Send me a text if I'm correct. VK says that it's still correct. He told me that. Y'all send me a text if that's correct also. I've been looking to see, to find a concrete answer. I haven't seen anything. But just in case that is correct, I want to show you something with Neville. Neville is undefeated in district, and so is Franklin Parish. That can't be right on VK because I don't even see Neville even. Okay, it is correct. Cool. Franklin Parish takes on Neville this week, and the winner will be your district champion. So if Neville wins, that helps them. If Franklin Parish defeats Neville, well, guess what? Neville might not hold on to that top 4 spot. And Slidell moves up. East St. John and Destrehan, the winner of that game this week, moves up, which we'll talk about later. As far as anything else, what other thoughts you got about the top 24 right now, or anything else outside of the top 24?
Well, it's been crazy the last couple weeks with a lot of these matchups and everything. And like last week, we had the division. I think it was Division 1 selects that Turlins took on St. Thomas More. One in what, 3, and St. Thomas More took down Turlins. And that's when you had the little shakeup there in Division 2. So it's getting interesting with the wins and losses and stuff. And Catholic didn't lose last week, but I think the win for Easton over Madison Prep boosted them up to 1. So
right.
It depends on the win.
I just pulled up Division 1 for you.
Right. It just depends on the wins and when they got it and who they played. It's amazing what these power rankings do, and I'm telling you, these next couple weeks, this week and next week, you're going to see a lot of shakeups, a whole lot of shakeups, a lot of playoff positioning. We're going to see, and especially the day of the playoffs with the final power rankings, and we go right to the parents.
Well, let me say this, since we're at Division 1 select now, and I got a strong feeling this is going to happen. And somebody put out their predicted brackets, and they had Edna Carr at number 6. Now, I don't know if Carr will get to number 6, but I think Carr going to get to at least the top 8. And let me tell you why. Edna Carr is at 15 with a 4-3 record. Edna Carr has to play number 7 Rummel this week. They get that win, they're moving up. The following week, number 3 John Curtis. They get that win, they're definitely moving up. And then if the extra point from being district champs happens, they're still moving up. So I really think Carr may crack that top 8 and get that first round bye. I really do. And you let Carr rest for a whole week and get healthy and come that second round, whoever it is, I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for them. What do you think about that?
I can agree with that. They get the bye, plus they host. They go from being a team that's going to be going on the road and spoiling somebody's season to probably being at home for the second round and beating somebody down potentially. It just depends on the matchup, but hey, that'll be big for Carr, especially for getting that bye and also getting that second round. And then we'll see what happens in their side of the bracket going forward, because after that home game, they'll probably be on the road maybe the rest of the time, but it doesn't matter. Carr Cougars will travel.
That's right. Now, let's talk about the fight to stay inside the the top 24. Look at these last couple teams from 20 to 25. Holy Cross, John Eric, Jesuit, Riverdale, East Jefferson, Lafayette, number 25, looking on the outside, looking in. I'm going to go first. John Eric controls their own destiny. They went out. They are district champions. They are in. And that looks very good for them. They have a great shot with, I think, who they have left? They have East Jeff tomorrow, and I think they got Riverdale, right? I think that's correct. Or
Yes.
okay,
Riverdale.
Riverdale. All right. So I think Eric got a great shot. Jesuit.
I'm sorry, Bonneville.
Oh, they got Bonneville. Okay, so
Bonneville.
Eric's chances are looking great. Jesuit. They got to get a win. They got to get a win. You know, if they don't get a win, they need help. Riverdale, I don't see Riverdale winning another game. I don't. East Jeff, I don't see winning another game. Lafayette, I don't know about. But I think this is going to be a battle royal just to stay within 20 and 24 with these six teams. What you think?
I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree with you on that. It's definitely going to be a unbelievable battle royal to get there. John Eric does control their own destiny, but at the same time, they win the district championship. Congrats! But guess what? You have an all expense paid trip to wherever you got to go in the first round.
All right. Now, on to Division 2. Let's go there right quick. Division 2 select. And then we'll go to our predictions. As you can see, De La Salle is now number 1. Turling's Catholic, St. Thomas More, E.D. White, Lafayette Christian, Kennedy, Madison Prep, Archbishop Shaw. That's the top 8 that will get a bye. Do you think De La Salle will finish off number 1?
Well, can you read them up one more time?
De La Salle number 1, Turling's Catholic number 2, St. Thomas More number 3,
Okay.
E.D. White 4, Lafayette Christian 5, Kennedy 6, Madison Prep 7, Shaw number 8. Can De La Salle number 1?
Okay, I think they can finish number 1. This is their chance to do it. I'm wondering who their opponents is the last couple of games because it could be another shakeup. But De La Salle has a great chance of finishing number 1. And I'm more shocked than a little bit that Kennedy has been knocked down. I said they could have a potential top 4. They've been knocked down to 6. And wow,
Well,
I think they might still move back up potentially to the top 4 if they finish their district. But man, that's big for them to just go down. I can see maybe went down 1, but they went down like I think it was at 5 last week or something, or close to 4. Yeah, now they're down to 6. So
De La Salle has a winless McMain this week. So that doesn't help pretty much.
That doesn't help. What's their finale, I wonder?
Finale is against I think it was 3-5, 3-5 Booker T. Washington.
Well, I think the Booker T game might help them a bit because Booker T, they played a really tough schedule themselves. So I think the Booker T game would help them with playoff parents, but the McMain game might hurt them because of the fact it depends on who Turling's Catholic is going to play or who St. Thomas More is going to play.
And that's what I'm going to. That's what I'm going to now, because St. Thomas More leads the district, and everybody sees it on the screen right now. Who can see it? St. Thomas More leads the district. They beat Turling's Catholic. St. Thomas More this week, 6-2 Westgate, and the following week, 6-2 Lafayette Christian. St. Thomas More wins those 2 games. I think St. Thomas More will jump up to number 1. no matter if De La Salle is still undefeated. I think.
And guess what? You just made me change my mind on that one. You just convinced me, because I was thinking, man, De La Salle, and I was like, wait, let me see what the opponents. And he was like, me, man, then you got Booker T, not bad. But St. Thomas more schedule. Wow. And that district is probably, and I hate to say it, the toughest district in the state of Louisiana. You
Very.
got Westgate, you got Turlings Catholic, St. Thomas More, and Lafayette Christian.
Yeah.
Wow. What a
Yes.
district. Man, that's Murderer's Row itself. So I had to change my mind and agree with you, Jared. If St. Thomas More wins out, De La Salle will probably go to 2, and St. Thomas More will be a number 1 seed.
Thank you for agreeing with me. I'm glad you see it my way.
Hey, bro, I had to open my eyes because that was the biggest thing. Cause I'm thinking, man, De La Salle can control their own destiny. But then all of a sudden, when you told me the schedule, because I was like, I looked at the last couple of weeks with Turlings and Westgate played and St. Thomas More. I was like, okay, they're gonna weed each other out because they gotta play each other.
Yeah.
But their power rankings is so high. So,
Also,
wow.
what's helping St. Thomas More and Turlings Catholic is the strength factor points. St. Thomas More 9.13, Turlings Catholic 9.0. De La Salle strength factor points 8.13. So that plays a hand in it also. John F. Kennedy strength factor points 6.88. That is why they to number 6. It is what it is, man. But I see Shaw 13.57 power rankings, 8.25 on the strength factor. But they have a winless Higgins team. So that might not help, but any other teams that they play to win games to help keep them up.
Going against H.J. Riggins this week. I'm sorry, L.W. Higgins.
Yeah, L.W. Higgins. Yep. All right. Let's get into our predictions. Let's do it. Let's get it started.
Do we have numbers, my friend?
I don't, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my brother. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm gonna try to get it, man.
You know what? Guess what? Everybody wins. Yay!
There you go. There you go. Everybody wins. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Here we go. Oh, now he wants me to send him the link. What you mean? The link is there. Your buddy, George Pepis.
George, you're a little too late in the game, man. We already about to get into these predictions, man. We might have to bring you back on maybe next week or something.
Next
week.
We
already late into the game, man. Appreciate you though.
God. All right. Here we go. Very important game here. And a lot of games in Southwest Louisiana and up north being moved because of inclement weather. So we got some games, a lot of games being played on Thursday. Acadiana going to Karen Crow. All right. Southside leads the district, but this is a big time rivalry game. I can't see Acadiana losing a third game in a row. I cannot see that happening. I'm going with Acadiana. Who you got?
Well, this is not maybe Acadiana's strongest team and everything.
Don't say that because we've seen Acadiana not do well in the regular season. Then come playoff time, they win state.
That's true, but at the same time, this district has been really improved this year, especially with the emergence of Southside and Karen Crow. I'm going with the Crow Bears with the big win over Acadiana.
Okay. Tomorrow night, Hoss Memphis Stadium, West Jeff Stadium, East Jeff versus John Eric. I got the Patriots, man. Winning their 4th game straight. I got the Patriots.
Yeah, sound like to me. Sound like to me. I might be over there tomorrow, maybe. You know, yeah, but it's gonna be a good. I think it might be a really good game. But I got the Patriots winning this one. You know,
Okay.
they're gonna clinch a share of the district title with a win. So I got John Everett.
All right. Now, hold on. We are an hour and 18 minutes into the show. Where have you been? George Pepis, everybody, our good friend. What's happening?
Not too much, gentlemen. What's going on with y'all?
Not much, man. Where you been? We've been waiting
I
for
thought I
you.
dozed off, man. Look, I'm
I
up. I'm
knew
ready.
it.
That's that long work hours, dude.
I know it
You
is,
know,
my brother.
you know, you know how that is, bro.
I do.
And I see by the sticker that I've joined just in time. Looky here, East Jeff and John Eric. Talk
Yeah.
about
Yes.
talk about timing.
What you got? Who you got? East Jeff or John Eric? I mean, I know who
Well,
you have, but let the
uh,
world know.
analytically speaking, yes. Look, the world knows I'm a John Eric grad. Well, the New Orleans area knows that know who I am, and you guys. But let's be analytical about this because that's what we do. Um, Everett has been hot. They've won the last three games. Last week was the most notable. It was at Checkmate, and they rallied from two scores down to get it. Royal Falgu, who has disappointed me, I think, this year in a lot of ways, on the field mostly, um, because of the fact that you have not seen the progression from being a junior to being a senior and showing senior leadership skills. That's the part of his game that disappoints me. But Aaron has gotten a big hurdle out of the way. It's a short week. It is a home game. Last one, senior night. Um, on paper, Aaron should win it. And at the end of the day, they probably do. I think they mess around here in the first half. East Jeff is not a terrible team. Um, but I think at the end of the day, the Patriots' talent, the Patriots' athletes on both sides of the ball make enough of a difference and win something along the lines of a 24-16 kind of game.
Okay. Moving on. Hornville at Central Lafourche. George, who you got for this game?
Oh boy. This is not a typical Hanville year, but it hasn't been that way for the last couple of years. Maybe it's the regime that made me speak that. I know you, excuse me, agree. But be pretty hard for me to pick against Hanville here. They should name their margin and handle Central easily.
VK?
Yeah. Close game. I really think.
Really.
I would love to pull the trigger. But
How
I'm
dare
not.
you?
I'm not. Hanville closer than the experts think.
Oh, of course so.
Uh, I got a Hornville at least by 30. I do. I mean, Central Lafourche, no disrespect, but it's just not where they want to be yet. I got Hornville at least by 30. Let's go down the road to I-10 to Sulphur, Louisiana. Iowa versus St. Louis Catholic for the district championship. I'm going to go first. Very surprised that these two are going for the district championship and it's not Lake Charles College Prep. I'm very shocked. With that being said, I think Iowa travels down the road and gets the victory and become district champions. VK.
I'm gonna go with the home team, St. Louis Catholic. They've been digging and digging over the years and everything. Iowa a hell of a program, and it's gonna be a really good game coming up. But I'm gonna go with St. Louis Catholic getting the win, and I tell you, I think that shows that district is more tougher than people thought more than anything
Yep.
else.
Mr. Pepis.
For me, I'm going to go with the roadside here. I think Iowa has more of the backbone. They've had more of the recent successes of the two programs. I think they know how to win in this type of atmosphere more than St. Louis recently. So like you said, BK, St. Louis has made the come up. Iowa, though, on the other hand, has had a quarterfinal appearance, a semifinal appearance, and I think a second round appearance in their recent playoff, trips. With that said, I'm like Jared. I'm surprised that this is for the district championship when we're not talking about Lake Charles College Prep, who all of us thought had one of those type of teams, and maybe they still do when we get to the playoffs, because we're 2 weeks out. But that said, we're focusing here and now. I'm going to go with the road team in a very close game. Iowa takes it down.
All right. Coming back to Lake Charles. And I'm only doing this game because my mom, her sisters, and brothers went to Marion High before they combined Washington, Marion together.
Mhm.
All of my cousins in Lake Charles, y'all know who y'all are. My first cousins, they all went to LaGrange. So that's why I'm doing this game. And somebody got to get their first win of the season. And I'm going with the LaGrange Gators. As it's to pick them. LaGrange Gators. VK.
Over under on this game is probably 10. But at the same time, like somebody said, somebody's got to die, and it ain't going to be us. And who it's going to be? It's a pick 'em. You're right. I got to agree with you, Jared. LaGrange will get the win over Washington, Marion, but big ups to your family and everything. This is a nice big weekend. I guess there's a reunion or something, but at the same time, I feel where you feeling. I feel where you're going. Got to give some love to Lake Charles.
Definitely. George Pepis.
Well, I mean, what superlatives can you describe two teams that are combined 0-15? I mean,
Yeah.
it's obvious bad year is one of them. Heck, I'll be the contrarian. I'll take the home team, Washington Marion. I'm more surprised at the precipitous fall that they've had, because this is a team not too long ago we were talking, second weekend playoff team, Thanksgiving playoff team. It's a team full of grinders and hustlers, but obviously nothing has gone right for either side. I'm going to take, I think, the home team, because I feel like the motivation aspect is that they're home and they see an 0-8 opponent and they find a way to grind out in VK's where it's an ugly win. I don't know about over under being 10. I need set over unders for 10 points in high school. That's a little beyond my scope. I mean, but I'll take the home team in something similar to 10, something like what, 13-6, something like that.
Cool.
All right.
Patrick Taylor, the Kennedy Cougars. Kennedy big. VK.
Cougars by 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns.
Wow. Okay.
No disrespect to Patrick Taylor. Patrick Taylor has been really, they've been a tough team, and they've been really giving teams a hard time and everything else. But I think Kennedy is really on another level right now.
George.
There's no way Kennedy blows this ranking. I mean, what are they? Third, I think, third or fourth this week in the power numbers.
6.
There's no way.
6.
There's no way they're gonna blow a high seed and a chance to have a bye in opening round of the playoffs. Patrick Taylor has had a decent season. They've beaten a couple of teams here and there along the way, tested a few teams. This is a monsoon. Kennedy wins big.
Okay. I got one for you, George, just for you. I did this just for you.
Boy. Thank you.
7-1 Roseline going to, and I hope I say it right. Correct me if I say it wrong. Avoyles.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think this is for the district championship as well.
No.
George, not?
Many's in their district.
Yeah. I think
Many.
I looked at earlier.
Right. Manny was in there. I'll double check, but I'm 90% sure those big boys are there attacking Curtis and company.
Okay.
But since we're focusing on this game, Rose Pine has had a very nice year, but they never schedule tough. They are not a team that really test themselves against big boy opposition. Look at the 3 losses that the Royals has had this year. Look them up. Sterling's Catholic, Lafayette Christian, last week Southern Lamb. And my conference, and you remember the conversation we had on Facebook. And
Yeah.
Mike's a very, very well respected man. He's a great journalist. His
Yes.
articles are very well read, and he knows his stuff. I've worked with him in the past. We used to, when I was living in the Royals, we were panelists on a show called Let's Go Football. Let's Go. Oh, I forget it. But the host was a really good guy, Marksville play-by-play voice. But just saying, Mike's a great guy. Read his stuff. He's on Facebook, open page, nice guy. But as far as this game, give me the team that has tested hard against big time opposition. And when they haven't played big time opposition, they have rung up and have north of 55 points a game. 2 times they've cleared 70. I don't know if they'll do that here, but I do think they make some kind of statement before the playoffs. They are number 5 right now in the power points of Royals, even at 5-3, because those guys know what their schedule is manifested. Take the Mustangs and take them comfortably. I think they win by 2 to 3 scores.
I also am taking Avoyals. I did my research on this, and yes, I saw the schedules for both, and Avoyals is battle tested. I'm going with them. VK.
Got
Oh, did we lose? Yep.
And we lost VK second. Let's see if we can get him back right quick. Hey, VK, can
Yeah,
you hear me?
I can hear you. I said
All right, go ahead.
Avoyals a really good team. I'm agree with all two. There's gonna be all three of us on it. Avoyals proven program, and they're making the big time come up, and might be potentially their year this year. And I think they're coming up at the right time. That tough schedule is really helping them. I like Avoyals in the win.
All right. Westgate. Thomas More, St. Thomas More controls their destination, their own destiny,
Mhm.
to become district champions, and definitely has a great shot to be number 1 in the power rankings. I'm going with St. Thomas More. I think they're just the best team in the Lafayette area and the best team in that district, and one of the best in Division II select. I got St. Thomas More. Who you got, VK?
Should be a really, really good game on that end. Could be it's a definitely a 4-quarter game. But I think St. Thomas More, Jim Hightower's really got that team going. I like St. Thomas More beating on Westgate this week.
George.
Probably one of the more underrated games of the year in the state. That's how good this game can be. Both teams have tested against great opposition. St. Thomas More with the huge win last week against Turlings. Still think highly of Turlings even despite the loss. Now in this matchup, I'm going to lean to the home side, but I feel like Westgate can come in here and absolutely pull this off. I I don't think that St. Thomas. The only thing you got to watch for St. Thomas More here, and VK's right about Hightower and the successes that they've had. The letdown act. And look, these are kids. They just came off a monster win against a team that was thought to be the top dog in Lafayette. They're not. STM, I think, wins a very close game. This is a very close game, but St. Thomas More at home gets it done.
Scotlandville going to play Catholic of Baton Rouge. I got Catholic. VK.
Scotlandville has been really, really competitive,
Mhm.
and they have been digging in. Credit the Hornets. I got Catholic, but it's gonna be really, really close. I wouldn't be surprised Catholic wins by a field goal.
George.
I don't know if it's that close, but I do think Catholic wins it. Scotlandville, like you said, VK, they've tested against better opposition, have passed a few, failed a few. The record is somewhat deceptive. I think Scotlandville can give Catholic a game, but I believe Catholic, this is the time of the year you start to rev up. And Catholic does it better than most people. And I believe they're going to get it done with a pull away score in the fourth quarter. They'll win by 2 scores. That pull away comes in the fourth quarter, and they get it done.
Archbishop Rummel going to the jungle to take on the Edna Carr Cougars. Rummel, I feel bad for you. I really do. Too much Edna Carr. Too much. VK.
Over under is 35.
Oh,
on
wow.
this.
Jeez.
Over under is 35. Carr, and it's not going to even be close.
George.
I'm not going to pick Rummel, but I think that they are, and I think that the fact that they play for their school, they're going to play with pride and they're going to play tough. But the thoroughbreds Carr has are going to outrun the quarter horses that Rummel has. Carr wins over under 35. Heck, let's have some fun. I'll take the over just for fun. But I think Carr wins it pretty convincingly.
And ain't this senior night for Carr coming up?
Think so.
Yeah, because I think they play Curtis at Yeoman. So yeah, I think this is senior night.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mm.
Booker T. Washington at Riverdale. This is a district game.
Mhm.
And I have Booker T. Washington. I think Arnold Barnes has a big game. VK.
Arnold Barnes over 200 yards, 4 touchdowns. Book it over Riverside.
Yeah. George.
So we're not setting totals. We're doing prop bets too for high school.
Yeah, there you
Wow,
go.
this is beautiful. Love the ingenuity. Gotta. But as far as the game itself, Riverdale 3-5, Booker T 3-5. But Booker T has played the better of the two schedules. And I'm not saying that because they actually beat John Aaron, who's going to win 8-5. But that's a one-trick pony, and I'm leery of taking one-trick pony contra teams until and I can't bet against them here, though. I think the athleticism that Booker T has, and they're hugging the playoff line. I think they're going to win this game and give themselves a little bit of a cushion as far as trying to make it to the big playoff field here in a couple of weeks' time. Give me Booker T and give it to me in convincing fashion. They win by 2 scores.
Okay.
I know, and I think somebody we know equally said the same thing you said about Booker T being a one-trick pony. So
Oh.
that's a coincidence right there.
I will leave it at that.
Yeah.
Grace King at West Jeff. My boy Charles Allen. What's happening? But guess what? Not happening this time, man. West Jeff with the win. VK.
Oh,
you know
boy.
what?
He's going to do it.
You know what? You know what? Nah, I ain't gonna do it. I wish I could. Love you, Charles. Can't do it. Where's Jeff? I thought about it. Said maybe. I just can't do it. Where's Jeff? Bye. Final score 14-0.
Wow.
Okay. George.
Charles Allen, I don't know you like these two gentlemen do, but I got you, baby. I'm taking the Fighting Irish of Grace King. I'm going to take it. I'm going to do it. And it's not anti. Look, this isn't bred of anti-West Jeff. Look at Grace King. Um, they've in some games they've been competitive, but West Jeff, where do they scare you? Offensively, they can't block, they can't throw, they can't move the football. They're not matriculating the football.
The quarterback can throw. He just don't have time
Yeah,
to throw.
exactly. It's like hike, bam, done. Good night. Snap, crackle, pop is what their offense is. It's like Rice Krispies. But Charles Allen, I got you back, big brother. Maybe I'm gonna get into the good graces because guess what? Thanksgiving's around the corner. The holidays are around the corner, and I got to start working on making friendships and doing good things. Not that I'm a bad person by any stretch, but I'm taking Grace King. The heck with it. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, that's bold one now. I say that takes a lot, bro.
Thank
I
you.
thought about it, but I was like,
Big game in Bell Chase. Helen Cox, undefeated in district play. Bell Chase, 1 loss in district play. This is a big time game. Helen Cox wins. They still control their destiny for a district championship in the showdown with Archbishop Shaw. Bell Chase hoping to beat Helen Cox, and that Helen Cox defeats Shaw to have a three-way tie for the district championship. I'm going to go first on this one. I saw Helen Cox play, and you have to contain that quarterback. That's the main thing. Don't let him get outside because he's still looking down the field to throw a pass. Contain him, keep him in the pocket. Other side, you got to stop Bell Chase running back. 6'2", 215 pounds. It's not a small task. You gotta gain tackle. I got Bell Chase by 10. I'm going with the Bell Chase Cardinals by 10. VK.
It's gonna be an interesting ball game. It's gonna be really, really, really close. Both teams have a lot on the line. Stephen Myers has done a great job with this program, and also Helen Cox improving under Emmanuel Powell. You know, Bell Chase can get it done and at the same time solidify a good playoff spot. But I'm gonna go with the better story. I'm going with the Helen Cox Cougars setting up a district championship showdown against the Shaw Eagles next week. Like I said, one of the most dangerous teams in that district, because one of two things, Helen Cox could win the district or spoil it. And I think Helen Cox is going to try and play the spoiler. I like Helen Cox over Bell Chase.
I
George.
don't know. I don't know if that's accurate as far as being a spoiler because Helen Cox is undefeated in the district. Bell Chase. I wonder where the Cardinals are mentally. Think about this. Shaw went in there in quote a showdown game and beat the brakes off of them. Where is Bell Chase's psyche coming into this game? They surely have the better in the trenches game. You know, Helen Cox has, like you mentioned, Jared. I have not seen him, so I'm going to trust in your opinion. You know what you're talking about their quarterback. But Bell Chase's defense is not as bad as what happened with Shaw beating them. I don't think Helen Cox has the variety that Shaw has, and I believe that's the difference. I think the Cardinals rebound and set up at least one half of the puzzle and hope that Helen Cox can beat Shaw, which I don't think happens. I think this is Shaw's district, unless the bus breaks down on the next 2 weeks. But in this game, I'm taking the Cardinals. I just feel like they're the better side, and give me the team that can win the in the trenches battle, and I know can win the in the trenches battle. Bell Chase.
Okay. 0-8 Higgins versus 6-2 Shaw. I got Shaw. That's all I'm saying. This to me not going to be close. I just don't want Shaw to overlook Higgins at all. One game at a time. VK.
I hate to do this again. The over-under is 40. Shaw.
Take the under.
Take the over. Take the over. Please take the over.
No.
George.
Higgins can't score.
Here's that one take that. I say take the over.
I feel you, brother. But listen, I'm gonna say this: Shaw's winning the game. That's not the part. And I could easily do the Desmond Howard line. Why are we picking this game? But I'm not gonna do it. In that toe, let's look at Higgins for a second. Doesn't it feel like Clifford Harris has been set up to fail there? Bad administration, bad decisions.
It's bad.
You know, very nice guy. Clifford's a very nice guy that I think have given a quote fair shot. He's not getting it at Higgins. He can't win there. Hey, with John Aaron, if y'all slip up, I'm just saying, maybe you look at this guy, but I don't know. Shaw wins convincingly. They're hitting their stride. Give me the team that's hitting their stride right now, Shaw. And Kinsey and the defense has played better. They've been able to be more consistent. I think they win easily. I don't know if Higgins will score to get to your total, BK, and I don't know what Shaw's going to do on offense. I mean, Kinsey's going to have a big game. 3 touchdowns, 150, maybe a little bit more, but Shaw wins easy.
Big time matchup. We talked about this early in the power rankings. The battle to stay within 20 to 24. Holy Cross and Jesuit both are within the top 24 for the power rankings. within 20 and 24, like I just said. This is a
Mhm.
big time matchup to try to stay there. Oh man, this is big. And I think this is gonna be a close, close ball game. Holy Cross has had problems trying to finish games out. Jesuit just can't get things going in their direction, but they got to win last week over Booker T. Washington. Look, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Holy Cross. I got a feeling Holy Cross gets this win. Close ball game. I think Tommy Connors has his defense ready to play. Head Coach Salt gets this win. VK.
Well, you're picking Coach Salt's side.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very close game. It's the classic All-American rivalry, one of the oldest rivalries in the state of Louisiana. And, it should be a really good game once again. Packed crowd, indeed. Every year is a packed ground. Every year when they play each other, it's always packed to Tag Gormley. It's going to be packed again. I like the Holy Cross Tigers to get it done against Jesuit in a close one. I like the Tigers to finally get out the snob and get a win.
George.
There's an old axiom in high school, in any level of sport. If you haven't finished games for most of the year, why now? In that requiem, Jesuit comes off the better of the efforts. I think that the Blue Jays eke out a close game. I do believe that this is a good one. It will be competitive. But if you haven't finished games in 8 weeks, why do I think you're going to do it in week 9? And I could be really um, a wise guy in saying, well, which one of you is going to get slaughtered on the road in round 1 of the playoffs? But that doesn't matter here. I think just to get to the tournament and anything can happen is what's the story. But I'm going to take Jesuit. They knocked off Booker T last week. I feel like they're starting to maybe find a little bit of momentum. And I think they're going to build a little bit here and beat a team that doesn't play four-quarter football. I'll take Jesuit.
Okay.
Hmm.
John Curtis taking on Brother Martin at Yeoman Stadium. I got Curtis. And it sets up the big showdown with Carr for the district championship. I got John Curtis. VK.
I agree with you, Jared. I'm going with the John Curtis Patriots. They've been playing so much better, and a huge victory last week against St. Augustine. And I think they're setting themselves up. I think they should not take Brother Martin lightly. They should just come out there playing because Coach Bonise is going to have that team ready. But at the same time, I think John Curtis is the better team, and I think they're going to handle business. I got Curtis over Brother Martin.
George.
There's really not a lot to say. And Brother Mark Bonise is a pretty good coach. But there's no looking ahead. JT Curtis is going to keep his kids focused. They know what's at stake next week. But JT is going to laser their eyes on this one and build up Brother Martin. Brother Martin is a respectable football team, a good football team. But the Patriots, since the loss to Zachary, have really hit their stride. And last week was an airtight affair against St. Augustine, and they pulled it out. Found a way to win that thing in the second half. I'm going to take the Patriots, and they're going to win solid here and setting up them and Carr next week.
Okay. Joe Brown Stadium. The biggest game ever for MLK Charter as they will host the Newman Greenies. MLK Charter lost to St. Charles Catholic last week, 23-6. Here comes Newman, Arch Manning. You have to play Newman like Manny did. And there is a whole highlight tape, about 20 minutes on YouTube from Gridiron Films. And they had Arch throwing balls with his feet not even set most of the time. You got to get pressure on him quick. You got to. And that's how Manny was able to defeat Newman, getting pressure on Arch, not giving him time to throw, and making him try to scramble out the pocket. If MLK Charter can do that, they will have a chance. But I don't see MLK Charter doing that at all. I have Newman defeating MLK Charter. VK.
Well, big props going to MLK Charter and
Joe
Coach Joe
Riley.
Riley. I mean, he's done a great job with the program and everything.
Definitely.
And they're upstarts, but they're doing pretty good. And they actually had a 6-0 lead against St. Charles Catholic last week. You know what I'm saying? Before St. Charles settled down and do what they had to do. But
he asked me
well,
on the show on the 1008 show that they didn't have a 6-0 lead. They were just down 13-6.
oh, they're down 13-6. I'm sorry, 13-6.
Yeah.
Well, with that, like I said, I think this is the biggest game in history, not just an MLK Charter, but for Joe Brown Stadium. You know, to have a game big as this, especially for Isidore Newman and also for Arch Manning and company. I think MLK. I think last week losing to St. Charles was a good experience for them
I agree.
to be battle tested, be helpful, and everything. You know, I think if MLK Charter, makes plays and don't make too many mistakes, it could be a ball game. It could be a ball game for at least a half. But I think Newman will probably settle down, handle business, get it done. I got Newman winning, but closer than the experts think.
Mr. Pepis.
Well, if they couldn't handle St. Charles's defense, what makes me think they can handle Arch Manning and Newman's offense? Look, does MLK have a difference maker to disrupt Newman? They've got a collection of good players, but they don't have that dude. And you mentioned the video about Manny. Manny's got that guy, Tackett Curtis.
Yeah.
I don't see him in MLK Charter. Look, they've had a fantastic season, 6-2. But Newman, if ever you're going to make a run to the Caesar Superdome, you build and you start winning games. You handle games like this. MLK Charter is going to be fired up because it's at Joe Brown. It's their home game, and of course, the spotlight's on Arch. And Arch has shut a lot of people up this year. A couple of local journalists involved too. I'm not mentioning names, and I'm not talking about present company. But that being said, I don't see what you see. I think Newman wins this pretty easy. I think there's too much Newman offense to offer up for MLK to handle in for 48 minutes. And they only were able to punch 6 points against St. Charles. St. Charles doesn't have a dynamic offense. Newman does. Newman, comfortable.
We go to the North Shore. We had Coach Malter Scobel on the show yesterday. His Slidell Tigers taking on Fontainebleau. Slidell have already clinched a share of the district championship. It's no looking back right now. Slidell wins over Fontainebleau by 20. VK.
I have to agree with you on that. Slidell by 20. Coach Scobel was a really good team. And like I said, probably one of the best defenses in the state. Could be a very dangerous team going into the playoffs.
George.
One of the more underrated teams in the state, too. I'll add that in. I'm going to go WWE here. Nothing can stop the Rusev Crush. Well, this is the Slidell Crush. They're going to destroy Fontainebleau. Share the district title last week, outright title this week. Name your number, Slidell. You got it.
There it is. Warren Easton versus Abramson. Oh, Warren Easton big. VK. VK?
You lost him?
George.
Yes, sir.
Lost VK.
Go
ahead, George.
This is your all right, VK. I'm going to defer to you, brother. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
You're
Not
good.
close. Not close. Eastern Eagles. They will continue their number one ranking, and I think they have to win big to keep that one ranking.
All right, George.
Hasn't Warren Easton really turned a corner since they lost the car? I think the car loss exposed to Jerry Phillips to what they need to do. And since that game, they have done it. What the heck makes me even think Marion Abramson? Look, nice comeback. That you're back with the name, and everything. It's great to see. Brings back memories of New Orleans lore. But Warren Easton by 40. They're going to win by 40.
De La Salle at McMain. De La Salle, big. De La Salle, big. VK.
The De La Salle Cavaliers. All day, every day, So Alano, and I'm gonna stop with this over under stuff. It's whatever. The score, it's gonna be inevitable. It doesn't matter. De La Salle.
George.
Gamblers Anonymous, I have a new customer. BK Jones, please volunteer. All kidding aside, but I'm going to set it over under for both of you in this game. And it's not the total, and it's not the points. It's not that. How many quarters do the starters play? I'll go 2.5 just for fun. But that being said, what are we doing? I think the Cavaliers are going to win. Name their number. McMahon, I mean, yeah, you're playing for pride, and I think, but once De La Salle gets their footing early and starts to get away, this could get ugly in a hurry. Cavaliers big. They're on their way to the playoffs as the top dog in Division Two. I think they're a team that is a big time force to be reckoned with when we get to those playoffs. And I know we'll discuss that at length when the brackets come out here in a couple of weeks. Count though for this one.
Haynes at Livingston. I got the Livingston Wolves. VK.
Livingston. It's not close.
Well, wait till we get our hands on you. And at the pantyhose commercial. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That ain't happening here. Livingston, the last loss was the beatdown at the hands of Kennedy and Linares Outpage. Kennedy, listen to me. Livingston, this is one where the stats are going to be padded. They're going to win big. Haynes has no shot. Livingston big.
Okay. And we move to the game of the week. The Destrehan Wildcats, 8-0. Going to play East St. John, who are also 8-0. The winner of this game will be the district champions. I love what Marcus Scott has done at Destrehan. I really do. He's taken over since Steve Robichaux retired, and he's kept the train running. I also love what Brandon Brown has done at East St. John, rebuilding East St. John to a what I want to say, formidable force again as a team to be reckoned with, especially in that district and in the state. I love his coaching style, and I love the way he coaches his team. I said that a couple years ago when we talked about the playoffs, and they had to take on number 2 John Ehret, and I said they would beat John Ehret due to coaching, and they did beat John Ehret. But the X factor is Jai Eugene Jr., quarterback for Destrehan. Can Brandon Brown devise a defensive scheme to stop him, to keep him contained? Can he do that? I don't know. I got the Wildcats of Destrehan winning this game. VK.
Gonna be a hell of a ball game on Friday. District is decided and possibly a high seed. Everything's on the line. We know that Marcus Scott has done a great job, has done yeoman's work at Destrehan, and probably had maybe his best team maybe since the John Ehret semifinal team. And probably this team that probably could get him to the dome. It's going to be close. And Brandon Brown, give a lot of credit with this East St. John team. A lot of credit. I mean, these guys have been playing a tough schedule, but not just that. They have rose to the challenge. It's going to be a very, very close game. It will come down to the wire. But I do have the Destrehan Wildcats winning by a field goal.
And George Pepis.
Okay. I have said this since the beginning of the year that I thought Destrehan was that team this year. Everything they have done has come to fruition. However, with that being said, we have heaped a lot of praise in a matter of a minute or two on East St. John, and it's rightful. Let's remember last year was a chance for them to really make a step forward, but Hurricane Ida did a lot of damage, and that area got absolutely devastated, and they were left on the eight ball. They didn't have the year they thought they would have. And Jared, I remember last year because East St. John and Everett were supposed to play each other
That's right.
until Hurricane Ida decided to make plans to do what she did, and
Yep.
continued prayers for those that are suffering, and the recovery process continues. All of us send our regards and prayers out to you. We're all going through it as well in different fashions. But Keller Stadium is going to be popping Friday night. That is a tough environment to play in. I think Destrehan's ready, but I'm gonna go brave here. The X Factor. You said the difference maker is John Eugene Jr. You're right, but I have every confidence East St. John mixes up their coverages, changes schematically, does things to give their team a real shot. I'm gonna go with East St. John here. I think they're gonna pull the minor upset. Doesn't make me think any less of Destrehan, but East St. John's got a real chance here, and I'm gonna take it. I'll take the home team as my upset. Close game though.
All right. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we thank y'all for tuning in. That is it for our show. We will be back next week. We're going to let you know who the special guest will be. And, might have another show also the day after. Might have 2 shows again, as we get ready for week 10 of high school football. VK, got any last words?
Man, appreciate it being on again, man. Another week. We're growing and growing as a show, man. We thank everyone for supporting the Hash It Out show. We like to thank everybody. Continue to listen. Big time, big ups going to you, Jared. You really upping your game, getting this show better and better. Having guests and coming back for a Wednesday night. It's really fun doing this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really fun. We do this because we love what we do. And at the same time, we're here to, talk sports, but at the same time, we're here to be professional, but not just that, to promote these schools and give
Players.
these kids and players and coaches their due.
George.
But I appreciate it, and it was fun, man.
Definitely.
Look, I'm honored to be amongst 2 very good people that know their craft and that hone their craft and use this platform to continue to better themselves. BK, I left you a very detailed message a little while ago. I'm going to get with you sometime soon, or maybe tonight. That being said, this show, Jared, I appreciate you. I do. I got mad love for both y'all. Y'all are brothers to me, and I that bond is there, and I feel the chemistry. We look, y'all. I'll let you in on a little secret. We do a little Facebook thing where we conference call. We call it our conference call, but we really use that as like a mini forum. And I think that precedes what you do on what we do on this show. And I'm just glad to be a part of this train, and I feel appreciated. Looking into the weekend, though, no LSU, no Tulane, but you get the Saints and you get the Maverick, Dennis Allen, telling us that Andy Dalton's a better start than a healthy Jameis Winston. Let's see. Let's see how that works out for you there, my boy, because I'm going to tell you who's laughing right now. It's not just me, and it's not just VK, and it's not just Jared. The Philadelphia Eagles are laughing because, oh, by the way, Saints fans, yeah, we could stink and beat at the top of the draft. No, you won't. You got Chris Olave. Philly got your pick. And don't you dare think they're not rooting. There's T-shirts in Philadelphia that need to be made. Let's get on it, y'all. My favorite team is the Philadelphia Eagles, and anybody playing the New Orleans Saints, because the more the Saints lose, the higher the draft board goes for Philly. And here to Philadelphia, if the Saints season goes south, draft Will Anderson. You don't need a quarterback. You got one. But you're at that high point of the draft, you get the best defensive player in this draft, and that's the guy you want. But this weekend is going to be another weekend, a good weekend of sports. Next weekend is going to be the weekend for me. I mean, everybody says LSU, Bama, but y'all know my horse racing background. I'm going to be throwing something together for CrescentCitySports.com. I'll be live tweeting Saturday of the Breeders' Cup, the World Thoroughbred Championships. That's for horse racing. Y'all know y'all want some extra money. Here's your side income. Come see me next week. I'm gonna pop y'all a few extra duckies here, in some fashion. I haven't figured it out yet, but that's next week. But this week, to you gentlemen, let's have a great weekend. And all the kids out there that are playing football this week, at the high school level, have a safe game and pray for no injuries and nothing devastating of any sort. Because these playoffs in a couple of weeks, guys, are going to be absolutely incredible in a lot of divisions. I can't wait. So, on that note, gentlemen, y'all have a blessed night. It has been fun doing this, and I continue to look forward to having the opportunity to do it. And Jared, I thank you being the ringleader for that opportunity. I appreciate you, my friend.
You're welcome, my man. You're welcome.
Hey, George, when you get a chance, when we end the show, just stay on there. Don't go off that soon, okay?
Do what?
No. Y'all go to the messenger thing we do. Cause
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Allow this
That's
off,
cool.
and I'm going straight to sleep. You know, I gotta be at work early, so y'all go to the messenger part.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And then we're gonna close it out like this. Give me my theme music.
Shut up.
What?
Yeah, he think he
Speak,
Deion Sanders. Play my theme music. He think he
speak.
Deion all of a sudden.
I completely forgot. Southern Jackson State game day is going to be there, y'all, this
Yeah,
week.
you
Nobody,
missed it. We talked about that.
Don't talk about that.
but Southern's got no shot. Shadur Sanders is the real deal there, and that's Deion's
I
son. And
don't know about that, George. This is the toughest team Jackson State is gonna face all year, besides
you're right.
Campbell.
You're
Because
absolutely right.
I'm like this. I get where you're coming from. Jackson State is on another level, but you know what I'm saying,
DNA,
Jackson State
Mike
could
Bird,
win.
First Take Show.
But Jackson State could win, but at the same time, and we're not gonna hold up Jared because we got some other
No,
things we talk about anyway. But I think Southern has a shot. I really think they got a shot. It's gonna be a great game on Saturday. Probably the biggest crowd ever over in Jackson Memorial. It is going to be crazy. The only thing about that, bring your ponchos, bring your umbrellas. It is supposed to be a 90% chance of rain.
All right, there you have it. We will see you guys next week. Y'all take care.
you too.